joined as one. Someone mentioned that being here was an opportunity to experience alignment, which is another way of saying join together as one. If we are aligned, then we need to be aligned with someone or something. Here we are aligning with Tao, divine. So we are on Mother Earth to learn and to have opportunities to have our Shen Qi Jing join as one, to have opportunities to increase our alignment. And as it was mentioned at the beginning, we have unique opportunities through Master Sha's teachings. I share the response at the beginning. It is my experience that the teachings that Master Sha presents are unique. I have not met these at the same level in any other practice that I have done. And it really, it doesn't matter what the practice was. I have not met the same wisdom, blessings, and teachings. So we're here. We're here on Mother Earth to have our Shen Qi Jing join as one, to align. And the things that prevent us from having this happen fully, on the level of the soul, it's negative karma. On the level of the heart, I could list different things, but after the workshop with Master Rulin and doing her course on Tao Academy, all of that list can be put together as we need to receive. The need to receive. So as a blockage, the blockage would be not receiving. And on the level of the mind, there are mindsets, attitudes, beliefs, ego, and attachments that block us. And these can be very subtle. We can have attachments that would be very surprising to us. To have a particular thing identified as an attachment. Often people think of attachment to things. But attachments can be to a wide variety. We can have attachments to our memory of something that has taken place. We think that it was really a great thing, so we want to repeat it over and over and over again. That is an attachment. It can actually work the other way around too. We can have a memory of something that is not pleasant, and we repeat it and repeat it. We keep remembering it and going over it and living through it again. That is also an attachment. And we often do not think of those things as attachments. I remember many, many years ago, I was a volunteer at one of Master Sha's events, and I was standing next to somebody who was looking at the registration process and said, "Oh, just look at that registration process." And I said, "Isn't it amazing?" I was so impressed. I thought it was great. Everything was moving along, and I thought it was fantastic. And she said, "They're not doing one thing I told them to do." And I thought, oh my goodness, we're both looking at exactly the same thing, but seeing something so different. I had zero attachment to it because I hadn't set it up. I hadn't organized it. I was there in another capacity. But if you set something up and you organize it, you have expectations, and many of those are valid. I'm not saying these are all things that we need to release, but the intensity of feeling, when there's a very intense feeling connected with it, we know we've moved into this area. That's our measuring stick. If we can be very balanced about it, then it's simply giving information or collecting information. But as soon as there's intensity of feeling, we have moved into this area. With this, when we talk about the soul, we can talk about it as soul, spirit, information, message. And Master Guo, who is Master Sha's spiritual father and teacher, had to use the term message because in China, it is not okay to talk about the soul. It can create huge problems for the person. So he always talked about the message, which is the language of science. Master Rulin talks about the message. When we have negative karma, the message needs to receive light. When we have negative karma, the message will also be negative. So it is very important that we do everything we can to change the message. Master Sha has a one-sentence secret. Heal the soul first. And healing of mind and body can follow. So this is wisdom that Master Sha has in his earliest books. He has taught it so many times. He still teaches it. This is a way of saying change the message. For Master Rulin and for many other people, this is, for Master Rulin, approaching things from quantum science, changing the message is what is the appropriate way to say it. That actually means heal the soul. When we heal the soul, healing of mind and body can follow. So I'm going to put the word message here. And for people on the webcast, I don't know how clearly you can see this little writing, but it says message. And on Facebook also.
You have to go to full screen.
Oh, okay. Can you see it? Then what? Oh, okay. So people on the webcast and on Facebook, if you go to the full screen on your computer, then you are able to see this very nicely. Thank you, Ed. Oh, Ed tried it and he knows it works. So beautiful. Thank you. So this is a large part of what we need to do. We need to change the message. It's not a large part. It is what we need to do. We need to heal the soul first. That's it, period. It's very clear. There are a variety of ways of doing this. Master Sha has, the last couple of years, included all three aspects as Shen, because the heart is so important. Master Rulin also, on one of the classes, she explained very, very well that the soul is the creator. That is a very, very key realization to really grab hold of. That the soul is the creator. So when the soul is in the process of healing in a conscious way, what is being created is healing. And with healing goes happiness. They go together. It's like love and forgiveness. You can't separate them. So when we are in that process of healing, we will experience happiness. We can do this on a particular level by rephrasing what we say. So, a phrase that I hear a lot is, I didn't do a very good job. Or let's see, what's another way that I hear it a lot? The idea is, I don't have discipline, and I don't do my practices the way I should. We can leave off that first part. I don't do my practices the way I should. I didn't do a very good job. Well, guess what? Those two statements are creating so many negative messages. And they are statements that are very possible to change and still be telling the truth. We have to tell the truth. If the time of practice is not consistent and needs improvement, we have to be truthful about that. We can't say, oh, my practice is perfect. I'm doing just exactly the right amount every day, exactly what Master Sha said, everything is wonderful. If that's not true, then it's going to end up being a negative statement. So if there is a need for improvement, it's very simple. You just say that. My commitment to practice can improve. Very simple. So you're admitting that it's not at the level it needs to be, but it's said in a positive way that leaves many, many possibilities. When we say that I can, that means I have the possibility. I have the potential. Just that small difference changes the message. And it creates something of unlimited possibilities. We have brought into our lives a whole different frequency and vibration. When we are in the approach of possibilities, the frequency and vibration is very high. If we are in the approach that I messed up, I didn't do a good job, I'm not doing what I should, the frequency and vibration goes down. Can you feel the difference yourself? Yeah, you can feel it. Everything shifted in the room. And I think it shifted for those of you at home on the webcast and those of you on Facebook. If that's true, you just simply can put in the chat room true, or on Facebook you can just simply put true, and I will know what that means. So that would be great. So this aspect of soul is, for those of us who are connected to Master Sha's wisdom, this is the starting point. This is the starting point. And from Master Rulin's teaching of quantum science, that makes a lot of sense. It's creation is the starting point. We can't start on something unless it exists. So this is the starting point. If you're approaching it from quantum science, if you're approaching it from Master Sha's wisdom, from the very beginning. The heart is the receiver. The heart is the manifester. So the soul has created all these possibilities. When our heart is open, we can receive these possibilities. That is really where we can put a lot of focus, to have our heart be very, very open. I don't know about other countries. I've only lived in a few countries for a limited amount of time. So the place where I can have the most experience is here in the United States and on the West Coast. I would say that it's very fair to say that people here in the United States, along the West Coast and probably other parts of the country, live their lives like this, guarding their heart, making sure nothing happens to it. Nobody is able to get too close or hurt us. And a lot of times that's it. Memories of being hurt, somebody insulting us, somebody saying things that hurt our feelings. All sorts of things happen in life, this lifetime, and we have memories of other lifetimes where we close the door. Close the door at the gate of our heart. But the result of that is our capacity for manifesting is closed. it is closed, or it is minimal. It is very, very lesser. This is an area of focus where probably everybody needs to give some attention. To ask that our hearts would open more and more fully. To be able to see with divine eyes. To do what Master Sha does. And I know we are not going to do it on the level of Master Sha. So all of you who are thinking, oh, forget that. I realize that. But we can do what Master Sha does on our level and then ask to increase it. When we see with divine and Tao eyes, we are seeing the soul of the other person. We are seeing the message, the creator, the beauty. We are not looking at the packaging. The packaging is the way I happen to be present in human form in this lifetime. So some people like my packaging very much. They think that I'm gentle, I'm kind, I'm positive, enthusiastic. They like it very much. Other people don't like it at all. They think I'm too quiet, too reserved, unfriendly, you know. So the packaging is not where we want to put our energy, our effort, or our focus. Because it's the packaging just for this lifetime. Many other lifetimes I've had other packaging. So in this lifetime, this is the packaging. What we need to do is to be able to see with divine and Tao eyes. When we look at another person, situation, event, and some events it's a very big challenge, I do admit this, to be able to say, I see this as divine and sacred. That very much reminds me of the definition the divine gave me for gratitude in my book. To have reverence, respect, and appreciation that is unconditional. So whatever is in my life, whoever is in my life, to be able to see the event, the person, as sacred and divine. Because that actually is what it is, what the person is. Every single person, every single event is sacred and divine because we are all part of a field. And so that is who we are. Every event is part of the same field. And that field is the field of the Ten Da. That's what exists in the field, plus more. So it is completely valid. It is 100% true to say, these people, this event, this situation is sacred and divine. Would that bring about a very big change in each one of our lives? Yes, no? Yes. It would bring about a gargantuan change in our lives. And it's there. It's there for us. We can do this. We actually can do this. So, the soul is the creator. The heart is the manifester. The more open my heart is, the more I can receive what is already waiting for me in this field. It is there already. I don't have to wait. I don't have to create it out of my own limited soul power. And even though I've had many, many huge blessings from Master Sha, it's still limited compared to Tao. So I don't have to create it out of my own effort. It's there. It's there. Tao has no limits. What I need to do is I need to receive it. I need to be willing to admit, yes, it does exist in Tao. It all exists in Tao. I remember when I was first studying the Tao Immortal Classic. And I was experiencing the most intense testing, memorizing that sacred text. And just previous to my time of really focusing in to memorize the Tao Immortal Classic, I'd been at a retreat with Master Sha, and one of the sentences that just really went straight to my heart, to every cell in my body, was, if you can think it, Tao can do it. And so I thought, oh, hooray, I can think that I am able to learn this sacred text. And Tao can do it, you know. Well, that is 100% true, and I did learn eventually, but there was some enormous karma that was creating a wall between me and what Tao had already created. And fortunately for me, that was able to be addressed by Master Sha. So we also have to, realize that karma is still part of the picture. Keeping all of these things in balance allows us to be able to apply these teachings. But in one of her classes, Master Rulin was saying, the bigger our heart is, the bigger our soul potential is. Because of what I just said. We are receiving what exists in Tao. And Tao has no limits. So when we receive what Tao wants to offer to us, our soul standing can increase. Our soul potential can increase. Our soul communication can increase. Our soul intelligence can increase, etc., etc., etc. It's, the Shen Shi Ching Huri is an amazing, amazing statement. The Master Sha published in Tao One many, many years ago, and most of us read the text, and thought, wow, that's really very nice. On next. You know, the awareness was just so minuscule. And at this time, our awareness is still very small compared to what the possibilities are. So we heal the soul, do everything we can to clear the karma, so that our soul will create very positive messages. Our heart, we will have as our focus to have our heart open more and more and more fully, so that we can manifest more and more powerfully. When we do that, our mind is going to process what it has received and send that to our whole energy system. And when we put energy there, our bodies will get into motion. As this happens, our Shen, Qi, and Jing join as one. We know that our Shen, Qi, and Jing are separate because we experience such things as illness. We experience relationships that are unpleasant. We experience financial situations that need improvement. Blockages to our intelligence, difficulties in soul communication. All of these things let us, and more, you know, I realize this is only like categories. When we experience these things, those things let us know that our Shen, Qi, Jing is not joined as one. There is a separation. So when our soul receives a message, or our soul has a positive message, it is possible for our mind to block it. And right now there's a retreat going on in Belgium. Master Sha is leading the 10 Da calligraphy retreat. And there are many people participating in person or on the webcast. And Master Sha is offering various kinds of blessings and treasures. I would say it's probably 100% safe to say that every single participant in person and on the webcast, as soon as they hear what Master Sha is going to offer, their soul is saying, oh, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. I've waited lifetimes, hundreds, thousands of lifetimes for this. Heavens, saints in heaven are saying, oh my goodness, those human beings are so lucky. And then, bingo, in a split second, there will be some who will say, oh my goodness, that honoring fee is way too much. I don't have that kind of money. Oh, this is not possible. Only people who have lots of resources can do things like that. All the things that our minds tell us. And all of a sudden, there's a great, huge barrier blockade wall that goes up between the soul and the heart that the mind has put there. And that can happen in every aspect of our lives, that our soul is jumping up and down for joy at a possibility. And then our mind will start saying, let's use the example of service. There's an opportunity for service, to make some effort to help others be happy and healthier. And our soul is saying, yes, yes, go for it. And our mind is saying, are you being ridiculous? Your schedule is already full. You don't have time for that. You're already offering service. How much more do you have to do? Or it's somebody else's turn. I've done enough. Or I have to take time for myself. I can't just always be thinking of other people. I need to take care of myself. All of these, the thing that's tricky about it is every single one of those statements has the seed of truth. They are, every single one. We do need to take care of ourselves, for goodness sake. We need to get rest, we need to eat, we need to do various things. We do have to budget our time, because every single one of us has 24 hours in our day. I have not met anybody on earth yet who has more than 24 hours. So we have to budget our time. So there is a seed of truth in all of those. Where we fall out of the process is when we allow this to shout so loud that our soul cannot be heard. When we allow taking care of myself to be the number one most important thing I'm going to do, or protecting and safeguarding my time schedule. I have my whole week allocated. It's organized. Everything is beautiful. I have a particular amount of time for every single activity. And when I follow this schedule, everything will flow. It's just magnificent. Sorry, I don't have time for anything else. That's very lovely. That is lovely. But I haven't met anybody whose schedule works exactly perfectly. Master Shunya has a favorite quote that I absolutely love. If you want to make God laugh, make plans. And it's true. It's absolutely true. Many years ago, I had the realization that plans are like clothes. We absolutely need them, but they've got to be changed. So if we hang on to our plans and we don't want to change them, it could be very unpleasant. When we follow this sequence, when we allow this sequence to happen, then our Shen, Qi, and Jing can join as one. And that's throughout our whole entire body, because every cell in our body has Shen, Qi, and Jing. And so our whole entire body has the potential of coming together as one. When that happens, when we are in that process, because it could take, some effort and time, but when we are in that process, what we will observe is that physical issues begin to become less. Confusion, mental confusion, becomes less. Emotional upheaval and upset becomes less. Financial struggle becomes less. All of these aspects of our life become less. And when they become less, it's yin-yang. The opposite becomes more. So we become healthier. We become happier. Our mental capacity and clarity increases. Our finances can increase also. Now, that would be a great, big, huge signal for a lot of people. When finances increase and improve, you can, I don't think anybody's going to do it, but you can dance in the sidewalks, you can dance in the street, because you have made a huge, gargantuan shift. And there has been an enormous coming together of Shen, Qi, and Jing. For many people, that is a much stronger signal than anything else in life. Or relationships. Relationships is another one. Two areas that seem to have a very high profile in people's lives are relationships and finances. And what they're telling me is that's because they're right out there in front of us, and we are constantly interacting with evidence that there's a need for improvement. When it's our own physical health, sometimes our own physical health can slide downhill for a very, very long time before we notice it. Or before we have to pay attention. But with relationships, if somebody's standing there yelling at you, you know it. You know? Or somebody, you know, has said something to you that is very jarring, you know it. So it's easy to identify that. Same with finances. You know, if your credit card is over its limit, you know it. So those are things that in our lives we get very, very powerful indications that improvement is needed. The other ones, as I said, we can ignore them until they get to a certain point. Then we really have to pay attention. So, as we are doing this, the things I mentioned will begin to transform. Let me change that. Can't make a guarantee. The things I mentioned have a huge potential to improve. As we do this, not only do we have the potential for experience improvement in our way of being present on Mother Earth right now, we also are making wonderful steps in our Tao journey. Anytime that we do anything to bring us into oneness, we are moving in the direction of accomplishing our Tao journey. A couple of years ago, I was a guest speaker at a very small gathering of students from China who were getting a degree through an institute here, and not in San Francisco, farther south. And I was asked to explain American culture. There are books written on American culture. So I did my very best, letting them know that that term was one that could not be applied because there really is not such a thing as American culture, unless you're going to talk about American culture being a combination of many cultures. So all of these people were from China, and they did not speak English. I do not speak Chinese. So it was being translated by the woman who was the executive for this educational institute. And I was listening to her giving these translations of what I was saying, and I thought, wow, these are such long translations. I would say like a couple of sentences, and she went on for paragraphs. And I thought, I had at times I had an idea what she was saying, the direction she was going, but I didn't have any details. So at one point, one of the people who was there to get this degree asked through the translator, what does healing have to do with Tao? What does this have to do with American culture? So it was beautiful because it's such a perfect question. The more we heal, the fewer blockages we have. The more we become a light body. The more our Shen, Qi, and Jing join as one, the more we are a light body. If we want to meld with Tao, we need to be a light body. Right? Yeah. So there's an absolutely, inseparable connection between the healing process and our Tao journey. They're the same journey. They're the same process. So what we're going to do now, because part of what will happen this evening is to have a tool for you to be able to move in this direction. To move in the direction of your Shen, Qi, and Jing, He Yi, joining as one. That's very, very important. Okay. So, if you would please sit straight. And again, both feet flat on the floor. If you can do it, put the heels of your feet together so that your feet look like a V, the letter V when you look down. If that's painful, please, sit in a way that's comfortable. And put both hands below your navel. Where your hands go is where the light will go. So right below your navel there is an energy point. And when you put your hands there, it helps to build and develop that energy point. And close your eyes. So what we've just done is body power. The next one we're going to do is mind power. So that's creative visualization. Put your focus on a space in the body called the zhong. This is our core. So it's from your waist to the base of your body, and it's the back half of your body. If you can, put your focus at the Mingmen. It's an acupuncture point directly opposite your navel, and it's on your back. And Master Sha calls this the Tao Men. Ming Men means gate of life. Tao Men is the Tao gate. So if you can put your focus there, it's terrific. Where you put your focus is where the light will go. The sound power is going to be Shen, Qi, Jing, He, Yi. And some of you know this. So if you know it, you can join me right away. Otherwise, just listen one time, and then you can join the next time. The one sentence secret for sound power is what you chant is what you become. So when we chant Shen, Qi, Jing, He, Yi, that's what is happening. Chant with your heart, not just the sounds. That's not enough. Chant with your heart. Okay. And the last one is soul power. That is to say hello. So please repeat after me. You can repeat this silently. And everyone on the webcast and Facebook, please also repeat this. Dear Shen, Qi, Jing, He, Yi, I love you, thank you, honor you, appreciate you. Please join together the Shen, Qi, and Jing throughout my whole body, head to toe, skin to bones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you notice that there is sacred liquid forming in your mouth, swallow that to your Tao Men or your zhong. And do not try to follow it according to anatomy and physiology. Just make the intention that you will swallow this to your zhong or to your Tao Men, and then it will go as it is supposed to go. Because we all know that, anatomically, when we swallow, everything goes to our stomach and then continues on. But make the attention, because this is sacred liquid. It nourishes us in every level of our lives. And we are going to chant for probably 10 minutes. Okay? And before we begin, notice how you feel at this moment. Okay? Good. Shen Qi Jing Hui, 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 Shen Qi shen qi jing he, 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 shen qi jing he. And we'll chant for maybe 3 minutes silently. Shen qi jing he, 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 shen qi jing Shen Qi Jing Hui, 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 Shen Qi Jing Hui. How? Thank you, thank you, thank you. So notice how you're feeling right now. Okay, so what was your experience? How would you want to take the microphone? Thank you. And you're usually willing, I was going to say, you're usually willing to come and stand on the carpet. That's great.
So there's been a lot of heart opening before we started chanting. And I could feel, I'm not holding my hands tightly, I'm just,
Yes, good.
And I can feel a lot of energy. And I was just really happy before we started chanting. I had some pretty good results. A lot of blockages are being released before I even came here tonight. So then we started chanting, and I don't know what it is, like the first 5 minutes, my mind does like a walk through the grocery aisles at Trader Joe's. When I start chanting, I'm like, I wish I could stop. And then I put together combinations of what I want to eat and when I leave here. And I'm like, why does this always happen? It's not like I thought about it before we started chanting. I'm not even hungry. So I started chanting Divine Light, and I could just feel like this column of light starting to come through. It was very nice. So, and it just ended. All that mind thought, it just ended. So we're chanting Shen Qi Jing Hai, and I was also chanting Divine Light at the same time. Like, I can do, I don't know if other people can do that, but I can do that. And so that was helpful. And I had there's a lot of physical blockages that are starting to release for the scoliosis I've been having, like deep in the pubic bone area. There's muscles that attach down in there, and they're starting to release. So it's this was very, very nice, and just general happiness. It's just
Beautiful.
happy.
That's exactly the whole point of the weekend.
Yeah.
Health and happiness.
Right.
Beautiful. Thank you. So maybe you don't have to come up here, but if you just would take the microphone, what was the experience like for you? Or you could pass the microphone back. Oops.
I was pretty much gone. I didn't really even notice we were chanting till we ended it. Yeah.
Okay, so you really connected? Is that what
I
you're
connected, but I wasn't present. I don't think I even noticed I was chanting until we were finishing up.
saying? Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like right now?
I feel good.
Have you noticed any shift after that kind of an experience?
I know I feel better, but it's not too distinct for me to really notice anything in particular.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I think I feel like an uplifting.
Okay, would you mind using the microphone? Thank you.
I feel like it's not really describable, but it feels like I've been my I'm not sure. My aura has been uplifted several degrees to a higher frequency. That's the only way I could describe it.
That's beautiful.
But I don't. Yeah, it's interesting. That's all I got to say. And it was very hard for me to do it. I feel really thirsty, so I don't know if I need to drink something. But
Focus on the Mingmen, and
I
often
was
that will
focusing.
get that sacred liquid to start moving,
yeah,
and
it's
then you
moving.
won't be so thirsty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's definitely an improvement, but it's different and it's hard to articulate.
Okay. That's
So maybe that's an improvement. You know, it's good for me
Beautiful.
not to have all these words. Okay.
Do you know that's very true, Sophia?
Because for me
because that
personally-
means your mind. That
Yeah.
means your mind was not doing a lot of
Yeah.
and it was happening here.
Yeah. I don't need a lot of articulation. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
The other night I was here, I said I felt uplifted after the work, the practice. Tonight I feel lightness of being. I did bring in some negativity, though. I wanted my voice to be much different. I've never gone to Master Shah's voice weekend or week, and for whatever reason, so I carped a little bit on that. But in general, I feel lighter. Now, from the other night, I felt, I always say, well, what's it like the next day, you see?
Perfect.
So I felt pretty good yesterday and today, and I don't expect the world my physical thing to change in one day or in one practice or even two, but there's a sense of tiredness. I know why that is. So I'm not saying that was eliminated or sent away, but I do feel uplifted. And the other night I felt uplifted, and tonight lighter.
Well, and Michael, what you said is really on target, and it's a question Master Shah asks all the time too. It's great to have the experience in the moment, but there needs to be a continuation of that moment.
Yeah.
So the fact that yesterday and the day before were an improved
Yeah.
experience, that's huge.
The temple is also big time. But
That's very, very huge to have it continue on in your regular day-to-day living. Because that's the point. The point, Master Shah is absolutely committed to having everything be practical. It's wonderful to have a great and glorious spiritual experience, to be in a state of bliss, but if that's the only thing that happens for us, it's not enough. We have to have it be able to be practical in our day-to-day living, to make this change so that there is more health and happiness in our lives. We have to be able to apply this. We have to be able to use it. So that's very exciting. How about on either Facebook or the webcast? No comments. Oh, I know something happened. I know it. Pardon me? Always, 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 people on Facebook and on webcast. We always, always, always invite you to share. And not just the people in the room, but everybody. So, did anybody, during that time that we were chanting, I asked your experience afterwards, how you felt. But during the time that we were chanting, did anyone receive any messages or third eye images? Did you, Master Shane? Oh, would you share them with us? Pardon? Thank you.
Thank you, Master Marilyn. So what I saw during the practice for everyone who was chanting, whether they're here or anywhere around the world, there's teams in heaven that are assigned to our well-being. And as we were chanting Shenqi Jing He Yi, they were doing energy work and working on a soul level to reconnect pathways between the Shen, the Qi, the Jing. So things were being rerouted around negative mindsets, attitudes, and beliefs, bypassing the ego, and maybe going straight to the heart for those who had a heart that was more open. For some people whose hearts were more closed, but the mind wasn't so in the way, they were rerouting around there. So they were rewiring and rerouting the pathways of how the Tao flows through us. How the Tao flows through us. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. That was beautiful.
I like that last line. How the Tao flows through us. That's exquisite what you said.
So we each received our own customized flow of Tao. Orchestrated by a customized team. So that's part of the power of chanting this mantra. So do we have comments now, Ed? I'm trying to figure out what the activity in the AV booth means.
Not about that exercise.
Okay. Well, are there other comments that would be pertinent to what's happening now? If it's thank you is always pertinent, and we are I'm very grateful. However, okay.
So Matt wrote in, I felt lots of tingling in my arms and legs. Energy was zooming up and down these appendages, blockages opening, and pain relief. Kind of what I needed.
Kind of. It sounds like exactly. That's beautiful. That was 10 minutes. I actually watched the clock. I'm not always really good at that, but I watched the clock. See, I'm receiving that from heaven. It was only 10 minutes of practice, and all of that happened. Imagine if we did this throughout the day, and that's Master Sha's suggestion in this book, Tao One, that we do this throughout the day. In addition to everything I've already shared with you, when we do this chanting, we are forming our Jin Dan. We are not born with the Jin Dan. A Jin Dan is a golden light ball that is, best way to describe it, it is in our lower abdomen, mid-body. The goal is to have our Jindan grow and grow and grow so that it becomes the size of our whole body. When our Jindan is the size of our whole body, we will have melded with Tao. The Jindan helps us to accomplish a light body. So when we chant this, to know that it's helping to develop and expand our Jindan is another very important aspect of chanting Shen Qi Jing He Yi. The Jindan is also what allows us to experience long life and have the possibility of immortality. This is what Master Sha has in the Tao 1 and 2 books and other books also, but he has told us in the retreats and at workshops and other times about a trip he made to Wudang Mountain, which is an area in China where there is a Taoist temple. And the master who was the Grand Master of that temple, met with Master Sha. And when Master Sha saw his Jindan, it was like the size of his fist. And that was after hours of practice every day for many, many, many years. It is a huge accomplishment to have a Jindan that size. But when we read Soul Healing Miracles, I think, let me just double check the page. On page 116, Master Sha has put in this book the source order for a Ming Men Jindan seed. That is astounding. It's like for free in this book when you get this book. And these books are being given away at this center. So for free, because Master Sha put it in the book, and people don't even have, if they can come to the center and get a book for free. Ming Men Jindan seed. I just told you a little while ago, the Ming Men is also what Master Sha calls the Tao Men. Soul, mind, body transplant. So straight away, anyone who reads this book and receives that, straight away that person has a head start on what very, very, very committed Taoist practitioners are able to develop on their own. It's truly, truly so mind-boggling to me that we have this available to us. So, Shen Qi Jing He Yi is it's a mantra, it's a practice, it's a teaching, it's ancient wisdom, it is also a soul. This mantra by itself is a soul. We know the teaching from Master Sha. Everything and everyone has a soul. This is a teaching. It has a soul. It is a mantra. It has a soul. And that is why at the beginning I did the say hello greeting, which is to greet the soul. In addition to that, it means that we can directly communicate with this soul. We can directly communicate with the soul of Shen Qi Jing He Yi. We can ask this soul to help us open our hearts more fully, or whatever it is over here that we need. And if we don't know what it is we need, we can just say, please help me in the way that you know is best. So what we're going to do now, some of you have had, you've done practicums in soul communication. You've come to the afternoon practicums. You have done weekend practicums. Some of you have done weekend workshops on soul communication. Some of you are in a program of soul communication. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to have like 5 minutes, and maybe Ed, you could play soft music once we get started. And is there music that's just music and no words? That would be very nice. Or is that too complicated, switching from one thing to another? I think Blessings from Heaven. Yes, okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is we'll have 5 minutes, and you are going to ask the soul, you're going to connect, you're going to communicate with the soul of Shen Qi Jing He Yi. Okay? And you can ask the soul of Shen Qi Jing He Yi whatever you want about these things. How can you, what is its message to you? What does it want to tell you? What is its guidance for you on how you can have your Shen, Qi, and Jing join as one? What is it that will be most helpful to you? Is that question clear, what you're going to ask?
Not quite.
Okay.
Formulated?
You're going to ask the soul of Shen Qi Jing He Yi to please tell you what will be most beneficial to you to accelerate this process of having your Shen Qi Jing He Yi join as one. Because this teaching, this ancient wisdom has a lot of wisdom. We'll have some very good ideas. Did that help?
Okay, it's not what area we need help in. We ask the soul, the mantra, to how is it that we can accelerate the process by which Shen Qi Jing comes together.
It's half of what you said. So it's going to be on the level of the soul. It's not the idea that's popped into your head right now. Well, I know that I need to do blah, blah, blah. You're going to ask, dear soul of Shen Qi Jing He Yi, what will be most beneficial to me so that my Shen, Qi, and Jing can join as one. Like, another way of saying is like, what would you suggest that I do? What would you suggest that I transform? Okay?
Yes,
That's better? Okay. But the very important part of this is that you do this on the level of the soul. You're not going to start here. You'll start here and open your hearts as fully as possible to receive what the soul of Shen Qi Jing is saying. Oh, this is excellent.
Is it chi,
Qi.
and then G, and then H-E? I can't see my...
H-E. H.
Oh, it's hard.
It sounds almost like H-E-R.
That's like her.
E.
E?
Mm-hmm. Like the letter E.
Okay, 'cause I can't understand.
Yeah. That's my pronunciation of the Mandarin. It's not exactly what you call totally accurate.
Yeah, I know. It's very difficult. Shit, when it's shin,
Chi,
chi, G,
H,
H,
E.
E.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Mr. Shaw probably has a phonetic thing in his book that might also help.
He does.
That because he knows people need that to help pronounce it.
The thing of it is, the phonetic thing in all of the books is for pinyin. And so it doesn't match the phonics that we have in English.
If it gives us a phonetic idea, that will be helpful.
Well, sometimes it does, and sometimes it's hard to
It's just
recognize.
how it is.
Yeah. But Master Shah said at one of the very, very, very earliest workshops I ever went to,
It doesn't have to be phonic.
close is good enough.
Yeah, okay, and it's your attention also.
And this is Tao intelligence,
It knows.
yeah, this soul knows what we're trying to say. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Perfect. And I'll give you about 5 minutes. So, dear soul, mind, and body of my message center, please receive the wisdom, the guidance, the teaching, the inspiration, whatever the soul of Shen Qi Jing He wants to give to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we'll just have the music very softly. how, how, how. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Could you feel the shift in the room when you began communicating with the soul of Shenshi Jing He Yi? Yeah, I see heads nodding, yes. And on the webcast, yeah, could feel it also. Facebook? Yes. It's amazing. It is amazing. So maybe one or two people could share what you received. You don't have to give away, information that you would consider confidential or super private. I'm not asking that, but just to share that whole communication with the soul of Shenshi Jing He Yi. I see lots of smiles. Okay, thank you. Oh, and let me make an invitation to people on Facebook and the webcast. Please also feel that invitation is for you also.
Well, because I was working back here in the AV booth, this process got started, and I didn't have much time to complete it, so I just got started. Dear one, thank you for asking this question. This is a unique opportunity for you to learn deeper wisdom about the meaning of Shenshi Jing He Yi. It is not often I get asked this question. Shenshi Jing He Yi is a process of joining your heart, soul, mind, and body in alignment. And I was just getting information about aligning ourselves, in order to join as one. Well, what do we want to join as one with? We want to join as one with the divine, the Tao. We want to align our Shenshi Jing with divine Tao and source, Shenshi Jing. And something occurred to me earlier that I didn't get a chance to comment on, was that Master Sha also in his books point out that Shenshi Jing He Yi is also the process of the second half of the Tao circle.
Exactly.
It is the reverse creation. It's the process of reverse creation.
What is reverse creation?
Well, I could do it very. Let's see if there are other people who are going to share. Exactly. It's also yin yang. This has within it. It's almost like the Rosetta Stone for healing. It has within it so much wisdom. That's why at the beginning I said, this is one of the 5 keys. Shenshi Jing He Yi is one of the 5 keys for health and happiness, to be healthy and happy. And it's like we have this enormous, great, big, huge treasure chest in front of us. And with this key, we can open the treasure chest, but we can only scoop out many treasures at a time. It's in layers. So to begin the process in a very conscious way allows us to take a great big scoop instead of picking 1 or 2 out of this magnificent box. And sometimes we don't even open the box. We've got this phenomenal opportunity here, and we don't even open the box. So after this evening, you realize, yes, most people do, that this truly is a treasure. You've experienced the shift that has taken place. Master Shunya shared the third eye image to let us know that the chanting is completely customized to what each one of us needs, and that we can actually communicate with this soul and get great information. So do we have anyone on the webcast or Facebook who has shared their experience? Great.
On the webcast, Susan writes, "Dear one, it is important to open your heart." Let me turn up the speakers here a bit. There we go. Dear one, it is important to open your heart, for it is the receiver. You are guarding your heart from being hurt in the past. Know that you are safe in this lifetime as a student of Master Sha's. You have numerous teams assigned to you. You have a Shenchi Jing He Yi team. Chant this mantra daily. It will help you to open your heart. With opening your heart, you will see and feel the benefits of, and I think it's to be continued on the next posting because there's a limit to the number of words.
Okay.
Um,
That is great wisdom in that communication that Susan received. Being safe is a very key realization that will allow probably all of us to be able to open our hearts, to know that it's safe, that we have a team, that there's a Shen Shi Jing He Yi team to help us in this process.
the rest of the post just showed up here. It said, you will see and feel the benefits of Shenchi Jing joining as one. You will be able to manifest and bring into fruition what you feel right now is a wish and a dream. Everything is possible in Tao. Shenchi Jing He will bring you closer to Tao. There we go. I had to find the next post. They're rolling in now. Hold on a second here. Let me go back and see where they start. Christine Owen writes, the soul of Shenchi Jing He is really happy that I am connecting with it. While basking in this feeling, I received the suggestion that I trace Da-I to open my heart to something when I trace. Anyway. Let's see here. Lila Ross writes, Dear one, open your heart, breathe first, keep your mind in your Mingmen, and send the greatest forgiveness to your twins before communicating with them. How? April Oki says, come home to love. Open your heart fully. Open your heart to your harp and its access to the truth of the ages. And her harp is her blessed musical instrument from the Tao music.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's a blessed harp.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Listening to April play her harp is magnificent.
Carolyn Nash writes, stay calm, be wiser than you know how to be. Don't get caught in a flurry of words. Stay very quiet and peaceful. Feel your toes. Notice those who really invite your participation. Let's see, Francis Ann Brown writes, Dear one, continue to open your heart, allow natural flow of love freely. Let go of mindsets, attitudes, and critiques of self and others. Seek.
Oh, I like that. She's put another thing. She's put another one in. Mindsets, attitudes, and critiques.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
See divinity in all souls. Remain humble.
Very nice.
And let's see. Oh, Carolyn Nash, I guess this is a continuation of the first one. It says, this is a clue of the direction in which you are to move. And that was, that's a footnote to her previous, or a continuation of her previous post. And Her previous post said, stay calm, be wiser than you know how to be. Don't get caught in a flurry of words. Stay very quiet and peaceful. Feel your toes. Notice those who really invite your participation. This is a clue of the direction in which you are to move. That's the total post. And Francis Ann writes a second post. No, there is this continuation. No. Know that each is on own journey, his or her own journey. Each has own baggage to let go. No one can define you unless you accept critique.
Mm-hmm.
Love melts all blockages. How? So those were the posts from the webcast. Let me look on.
That's very powerful.
Let me. Oh, yes. There's no relevant posts on Facebook.
Okay.
That I can see right now, anyway.
Okay. So, anyone else in the room have something that you would like to share in regard to what you received from this amazing soul?
It was sort of like direct soul communication because there were two things, and I wanted to know more. It was the message I received was to do forgiveness practice and to remove doubt. And then you talked more, and you're like, so ask, and all this stuff, and it came again, and I was like, well, I mean, that's it, because that's the message. And so then all this music was playing, and I thought, well, for 5 minutes there should be more. And then it started that mind chatter again, like, well, should it be more? What, you don't want to be doing that, So I was like, okay, then how can I, what's the best way? How should I remove doubt? Or what do I need to? You have to start asking those pertinent questions again instead of. And I started to get something about my ancestors. It wasn't really clear, but about forgiveness, regarding my ancestors. And I didn't get a clear message about how to remove the doubt. I'm like, well, do I need a special blessing, or how should I do this? But that's the message I received. Mm-hmm.
Great. Do you want it? Could you pass it back to Master Shunya, please?
So the two things that I got clearly were continue more and more to keep your mind in the Zhong and in the Mingmen.
Mm.
And when doing other practices, at the beginning of the practice, ask for the Shenqi Jing to gather inside of you. Yeah.
Great, thank you. The sharings are fantastic. There's always such wisdom. That's why Master Sha says sharing is a service. And there are all sorts of ways to remove doubt, but what you need to do is exactly what you started to do. So, how do I do that? Because for you, it might be different from somebody else. Because you will get to the same place, but on the pathway that is most appropriate for you and is going to benefit you the most. Yeah. With this, it is amazing because when we're talking about the qi, I spend a lot of time sharing the wisdom about Shen, Qi, and Jing. And it's just one word for qi and one word for jing. But when the qi is aligning and coming together, this means down to the most minute parts of the qi, down to the DNA and RNA. With the jing, the matter, it's not just the matter that we can see and the great big gathering of matter in organs, but every single cell in our body has matter inside. And I don't really remember how many, particles of matter, but I think it's either 22 or 32 particles of matter inside of every single cell. That's a lot. The DNA and RNA is there. So we are actually able to have throughout our entire body all of this qi, including the DNA and RNA, all of the Jing, including all of these little particles in every single cell, including the DNA and RNA, come together as one. Sometimes I've had people say to me, well, I really, I can't do anything about this. This is hereditary. If we can change the DNA and RNA and have it come together as one, then conditions that are called hereditary have the possibility of transforming. And I know from my own personal experience that has happened in my own life. That conditions that at this point in my life, if I did not know Master Sha, more than likely I would be using a cane and possibly even a walker. And clearly I'm not doing either one of those. And it's the practices of Master Sha. But this is a very powerful one, and the suggestion that Master Shunya received at the beginning through his flow, to say hello to Shen Qi Jing He Yi at the beginning of all the practices we do, and to ask the practices to help our Shen Qi Jing to come together as one, so that everything that we are doing becomes a practice of Shen Qi Jing He Yi. When we sing Love, Peace, and Harmony, it can also be a practice of Shen Qi Jing He Yi. And that last practice that we did, to speak to the soul of Shen Qi Jing He Yi, that is really very important, because that will help us to make the heart-to-heart connection. That will help us to open our hearts more. Not only to Shen Qi, when it opens our hearts more to Shen Qi Jing He Yi, then it opens our hearts to Tao. And when our hearts are open to Tao, our hearts are open to everything and everyone. How amazing is that? That will help us to truly move along that pathway of health and happiness. So I'm going to give like maybe 5 minutes if you have questions, so that I could clarify whatever might need to be clarified. And that would be for people on the webcast and on Facebook also. But we'll only use about 5 minutes. We're not going to use the whole rest of the time. Yes. The microphone, I think, is over there. Yeah.
So how long would this last, this mantra, to be able to pray for unity, internal unity? How long can we use this mantra?
The rest of your life.
So
is that what you're asking?
Yeah, it's really like it's a permanent thing that we can always use.
Absolutely.
No matter where we go or how we do it. And how old is this thing actually? Did it come to him, or it's actually in text from somewhere?
In this book, Master Sha said it's an ancient practice.
Oh.
What has happened with Master Sha is, with all of those ancient practices, he has received new wisdom.
New interpretations of it.
Well, it's not just an interpretation, it's actually new wisdom that makes the ancient wisdom more complete. That's my way of saying it. Yeah. So, yes, you can use this for the rest of your life, all day long, every day. And you know, also, it's a very fun one to do soul dance to. Shen Shi Jing Her Yi,
Right.
Shen Shi Jing Her Yi, Shen Shi Jing Her Yi, Shen Shi Jing Her Yi. And you can go spinning around and you can do all sorts of things. Our soul dance sometimes tends to be very
Sedate.
sedate, thank you. But this one you can do it faster. You can sing it faster and faster, and you can, really get going with it.
So when you're talking to this ancient mantra, is that like connecting to the source?
Yes, because
You're getting that kind of, it's bypassing the, quote, personality, unquote, that gives so much grief, shall we say. Mm-hmm. Except those of us who have perfected all the virtues. I haven't seen them anywhere yet, but...
whenever we do a soul-to-soul connection, we bypass the personality. And when we do soul-to-soul connection with these mantras, this is Master Sha's sacred wisdom. It's ancient wisdom, but he has also received new wisdom connected with this. So this not only is this is also connected with Master Sha's Shen Shi Jing. So the only possibilities are positive in my way of thinking.
You're connecting with Dr. Shah, Master Shah, and the source at the same time, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the one that's channeling it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. So the comment was, we're connecting with Source and Master Shah at the same time because Master Shah is the one who's channeling Source. Yeah. So that is your language. We would use a little different language, but it's the same idea. Yes. Whenever we connect with something that like the calligraphies. This is, every calligraphy has so much within it. In addition to all of that, it also carries Master Sha's Shen Shi Jing, which connects us to Source. Yeah. It's amazing. And he has, like the calligraphies in Soul Healing Miracles. It's got, I think there are 9 calligraphies. This book, I haven't told this story very recently, but Soul Healing Miracles book is my computer technician. Because sometimes my computer will do something that I have no idea what has happened, and I have no idea how to get my computer back to operating in a way that I can actually accomplish what I'm supposed to be accomplishing. So what I do is I picture in my mind my computer as a person. And my computer is on the desk, or whatever, wherever it is. And I picture the desk as a massage table. And my computer is lying down on the massage table. And so, oops, thank you. And so the keyboard would be like the front of our body. And underneath, the part that's on the desk or table would be like the back. So I pick up the computer and I put it on top of a book. And then I get another book and put it on top of the keyboard. And then I do a say hello greeting. And I ask all of this. There are 9 calligraphies in this book. If we had the smallest hint of how many blessings that means. How many saints, how many heaven saints animals, how many healing blessings, how many financial blessings, how many relationship blessings. It's how many instruments, messages, and codes are in this book, in just the calligraphies. I'm not even talking about the text. I'm talking about the calligraphies. It would take our breath away. So I ask all of them to please heal my computer. And then I chant. And I only need to chant for like about a minute. And my computer is healed. Whatever blockage it had, it just would not allow me to do anything.
It fixes it. She's repairing. Well, she's done repairing.
My sister has used this for her dryer. The dryer in her home is quite elderly. And it has been brought back to functioning. There are so many stories, but that's not the point of what we're doing this evening. But I wanted to mention that because we have so many resources, and all of them from Master Sha connect us with Source, connect us with Tao, because that's Master Sha's connection.
Right.
Yeah. So but I don't want to multiply. You know what we're doing, to stay with this, and to leave this evening with this mantra as something that will become part of your day-to-day living will be so huge. To make the connection with the soul of this mantra will be so huge. And what we did tonight, you can do that every single day. You can do it several times during the day. Usually people will ask, well, how long should I do this chanting? Longer the better. What Master Sha has received as the wisdom, the guidance, is for a chronic condition, a minimum of 2 hours practice is needed. A day. A chronic condition is something you've had for 6 months or more. So the 2 hours of chanting can be distributed throughout the day. It does not have to be all at once, no. So we chant Shen Shi Jing Hurry, and the other practice we do is forgiveness. With Master Sha, absolutely every single thing we do has forgiveness connected to it, because we would not have blockages. When we have blockages, that means that when I have blockages, that means that I or my ancestors have done something unpleasant to someone in this lifetime or previous lifetimes. Probably both. So we always need to do forgiveness practice. And many of us are aware of the fact that doing, besides, a dedicated forgiveness practice, doing forgiveness during the day is very important, because there are, for me at least, there are countless times during the day when I become aware that my attitude, my thought, is negative. So I need to ask forgiveness. My words might be, lovely, because by the time that most of us have reached full height, we have learned that speaking in a certain way is not acceptable. In fact, most of us learned that before we went to first grade. And then it was reinforced all the way through school that certain things are not acceptable to speak in certain ways. But the thinking did not necessarily change when the speaking changed. So when we become aware that our thinking has been hurtful, we need to ask forgiveness. When we become aware that our attitude is hurtful, we need to ask forgiveness. So the more we become aware, the more we realize that our whole day has a very big possibility of being one forgiveness practice after another. And probably the only times we're not doing forgiveness practice is if we're chanting Shen Shi Jing He Yi, or Love, Peace, and Harmony, or another mantra. So that is also why Master Sha says, keep your mind in your Mingmen. And in the Tao Immortal Classic, there's a line that says, do not let the mantra leave your mouth, which means constantly be chanting. And when we are chanting, if we are chanting Shen Shi Jing He Yi, and we are in the condition of Shen Shi Jing He Yi, there's no space for negative thoughts. There's just no space. It's like right now, I'm standing up. There's no way that I can bend my knees and keep standing up. If I sit down, I cannot do that without bending my knees. So one thing removes the other. The chanting will remove the negative thinking, the negative attitudes, negative beliefs, transform ego, and release attachments. So this is what we are going to be doing for the rest of the weekend. We will be connecting with the 4 other keys, so that by Sunday afternoon, at the end of this workshop, you will have the experience of the particular key that we are connecting with, the blessing, and you will also have the opportunity to make a heart-to-heart connection with that particular key, so that you can open that treasure chest. We have 5 treasure chests to open this weekend. Has this evening been helpful to you? Yes, no? Yes. Yes, okay. And on the webcast, let's see. Yes, okay. And Facebook? Yes. All right, so it's been helpful to everybody. So this is just the first key. You really do want to have the other 4. The other 4 are also very, very powerful and transforming. They are also amazing. Master Rulin kept using the word miraculous for Tao science. I would say that is also true for each one of these keys, only my word is amazing. It really does. It almost takes my breath away to stop and become more aware of what Master Sha has given to us with each one of these keys. It's amazing. That's the only word I have for it. So we will do on Saturday and Sunday, by the end of Sunday, you will have made a connection with each one of the other keys so that you will have 5 keys that you can use anytime, any place. And that these keys can help you in ways that right now cannot be imagined or comprehended, so that your life can become healthy and happy. Imagine that. Almost everybody is making some kind of an effort to be happy and to be healthy. When people are asked, what is the most important thing for you in life? Very often people will say, my health, to be healthy. People will say, to be happy. That's what's being offered this weekend. The keys to be happy and healthy. The keys to be healthy and happy. It goes both ways. And they are interconnected. And that's why heaven gave us that as a title. So if you have not registered yet, you can register on Facebook. Can they register? You can register on Master Sha Tao Healing Center Facebook page. You can register on Master Sha's website and go to the center in San Francisco. And you can register by phoning in, or people who are here can register on the way out.
And on the way in.
And on the way in. That's right. You can actually wait until tomorrow morning if you want to. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it start at noon?
At noon. Thank you. I'm so accustomed to referring to workshops as beginning in the morning. It's an automatic thing. It begins at noon, and it goes until 5. And so it's shorter, so the honoring fee is less than the usual honoring fee. Yeah. And so I'm going to invite Master Shunya. He's giving me signals that there's more information, so I'm going to ask him if he would.
My goodness, no, you've covered just about everything except exactly what the honor fee is. So the honor fee is $50 in person, and that includes a guest pass to bring a new friend, somebody who hasn't attended a workshop before, and $35 to participate by webcast.
Oh my goodness.
So
wow.
Very, very easy for most people.
And there are downloads that you have to purchase also?
There will be blessings that are available. Certainly you will receive blessings throughout the weekend, and all of the teachings are blessings, and then there will be additional blessings like crown chakra blessings that are with an additional honor fee. Those are optional. You don't have to do those. If you can, wonderful. If you can't, no attachment, no problem. I think one of them would be a crown chakra blessing for Shen Qi Jing He Yi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll probably do that tomorrow.
And opening our hearts.
And opening our hearts. So we have a lot in store for the weekend. When you join us, I believe that we will be joining.
Oh, yes.
Is that true? Okay. So we will be joining Master Sha, who is teaching in Belgium. Tomorrow afternoon, he's going to do a Dao Yuan Cheng blessing, which is Dao Source Field blessing. So we will be joining, those who are here in this workshop will be joining that workshop as part of this workshop.
For no additional
For no additional fee.
So actually
yeah.
what that means then is it's free.
So you could look at it as if you participate in the workshop, either the Dao Yuan Cheng is free or this workshop is free.
It's amazing.
So we are trying to follow heaven's wishes to move our community forward as quickly and as lovingly as we can. So thank you, Master Marilyn. And again, as Master Marilyn said, you can go to Facebook, and in the left-hand column, you'll see events. And there you can click on this event, and that will take you to the link to register. And you can register at drshaw.com by clicking on events, then clicking on the calendar, and then just look for tomorrow's date, and that's where you'll find it. We will be doing the Dao Yuan Cheng 1 hour from 9 to 10 in our own Dao Yuan Cheng here in San Francisco. That's also by webcast. You can register for that in the same places. And then Sunday morning will be the soul massage with Master Marilyn in person and by webcast from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Again, you can register for those on Facebook. You can find the registration links on Facebook or at drshaw.com events. Okay, so let's thank Master Marilyn for her wonderful teaching tonight. Thank you, Master Marilyn. 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 Love 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 you, Master Marilyn. Really, really love you, Master Marilyn. Really, really love you, Master Marilyn. Really, really love you, Master Marilyn. Really love you, Master Marilyn. Really love you, Master Marilyn. Really, really love you, Master Shah. Really, really love you, Master Shah. Really, really love you, Master Shah. Really love you, Master Shah. Really love you, Master Shah. Really, really love you, the Divine. Really, really love you, the Divine. Really, really love you, the Divine. Really love you, the Divine. Really love you, the Divine. Really, really love you, the Tao. Really, really love you, the Tao. Really, really love you, the Tao. Really love you, the Tao. Really love you, the Tao. Really, really love you, the Source. Really, really love you, the Source. Really, really love you, the Source. Really love you, the Source. Really love you, the Source. Really, really love you, everyone. Really, really love you, everyone. Really, really love you, everyone. Really love you, everyone. Really love you, everyone.
Really, really love you, Master Shunya. Really, really love you, Master Shunya. Really, really love you, Master Shunya. Really love you, Master Shunya. Really love you, Master Shunya.
Really, really love you, everyone. Really, really love you, everyone. Really, really love you, everyone. Really love you, everyone. Really love you, everyone. And we say 3 times love you, 3 times thank you, 3 times gong song. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gong song, Gong Song, Gong Song. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.